Uh-oh, not the phone coming in as soon as we start. That's what
Hello?
I'm talking. That's what I'm
I'm
talking about.
doing a show. Get it for your sister.
Yeah, get the assistant. That's what I'm talking about. Phone calls during
Open
the
the
start of
door.
it. That's what I like to hear. Hey, what's up, Hahrts? Hey,
Nice to
well,
be with you.
hey, man, I'm happy to have you here. I'd like to welcome everyone to the watch list. As you know, this is where we go hard and do our thing. Um, we have an amazing, not even guest, because you know we don't do guests here, co-host. It's our homie who does amazing things, who has the perfect, who is the perfect person for this, because we are talking about WCW 2000 time, the absolute greatest, the encyclopedia of this WCW shit. Hahrts.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
So, it's funny.
What's that?
I know that the watch list was supposed to be like matches and things you love, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, when y'all first asked me before it premiered, I was like, I could do Jared and Shawn Michaels. I could do Good Friends, Better Enemies. I could do Mind Games. I could do Revenge of Taker. Like I was so many places it was going. But then this documentary came back out. And I'm like in the bubble of WCW, specifically 2000.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been cursing out Goldberg for weeks.
You have. You really have. It's been amazing to watch.
So, the best thing to do is not curse out Goldberg and talk about the only time I ever liked him.
Mm. I understand. You know
Because
what we
it's
about to do? We're about to leave them on. You're going to have to wait for after this intro, baby.
Why does it matter to me? It's in my veins, baby. It's in my blood. You understand? Since kindergarten, since I was about this high, I've been watching wrestling.
Watch this. This ain't the pod for the gossip, kid. BGW watch list. Black guys, civilized them 85s. Acknowledge the nerd that knows with the vibes. If you catch my live, Scotland goes live. Nolo goes bell to bell. 5 leaf for the leave it off the list of them holy grails. Speak raps with Chaz and DMac. 3 count on DMac. Telling pause to relax. Watch this. The watch list. Black guy. Watch this, the watch list. Black.
Hey, welcome everybody back.
I love seeing Thunderbolt Patterson.
Hey, I know that's gonna bring like joy to your heart at all times.
Always.
Absolutely. So let the people know, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about the heel turn of one Bill Goldberg. In the year 2000, the year of our Lord, Bill Goldberg returned from shoving his fist into a glass window. And he had to get surgery. He had to get a bunch of stitches. Injured himself so bad they said they almost had to amputate his arm. That's how they say it, but I think they, are exaggerated.
Yeah, embellish, hyperbole.
So he returns to wrestling May 29th. And this is after about 2 months of Tank Abbott, I guess, threatening him. And saying he's going to cause harm to people around, everybody. Beating up, I believe that's when he beat up Mark Madden. And he was just beating up everybody randomly until Goldberg came back. So on May 29th, Goldberg returns. We see the Goldberg monster truck.
Brought back memories.
It pulls up, and Tony Schiavone is losing his mind because Goldberg walks out. And Tank Abbott was being jumped by Rick Steiner. No, Kevin Nash was being jumped by Tank Abbott and Rick Steiner. And this leads to Goldberg returning and pretty much taking him out. He cuts a promo saying that the slaughter begins, and then he says next week in Atlanta, Georgia, he wants to face Tank Abbott. So that's who he wants on his first match back. And The fans go crazy for Goldberg. Like, we're setting up for his heel turn, but the fans are going crazy for him like this is 99-ish before all the bad things, you know? Then Atlanta comes. It's Atlanta. But Eric Bischoff and Vince Russo, you know, the new blood, they come out and they tell Goldberg to come do his business with Tank Abbott and leave. Don't get involved with Kevin Nash. And if he gets involved with Kevin Nash, Russo's going to suspend him. Mm-hmm. Russo starts reading the riot act saying that Bill Goldberg never took and all of the nonsense. He calls him a punk. Goldberg comes out. He beats up R&B security. And I watched this, and I think this is when Stan realized he's not watching it with me, and we're just going to watch 98 Raw afterwards. Because he said, what's this R&B stand for? And I said Russo and Bischoff, because it was the R&B security shirts. Mm-hmm. And we ain't watched WCW the rest of that day.
He said he was over it, man.
That was it. But Goldberg comes out. He was watching on a monitor. He was watching the promo on a monitor. Comes out. The crowd goes ridiculous. And he takes out R&B security. Just takes out everybody. Hi, Mika.
Hey, me.
So he takes everyone out. It was about 12 security guards at that point, and he just takes them out. And that's like another one of my pet peeves about this era, because they also do it with the new blood.
How easily?
Who had power in numbers was always weak. They was always like putties when it came to the stars.
If I remember correctly, they had like a gauntlet match like 2 weeks in a row where they had to go against the new blood, and they was losing. They were getting pinned to big boots, power slams, back body drops.
So this gauntlet match you speak of is in this episode. Mm-hmm. This backstage segment with Goldberg. He's sitting there with Nash. Scott Steiner walks up and says how Tank Abbott's been talking crap about him for 2 months, kick his ass. Nash said he owes him one, kick his ass, and walks away, and Goldberg glares at him. Right? Just little subtle. Right. You know, when you know what you see, you go, oh, they was planting seeds. They didn't really do much of that around this time period. So when they did, you appreciated it. The match starts like usual. 45 seconds into it, Rick Steiner comes out with a chair and hits Goldberg. So now Goldberg is being jumped by Tank and Rick again. Mm-hmm. Nash comes through the audience, takes out Rick while Goldberg puts Tank away with a spear and a jackknife. Tank talked all that stuff. Tank Abbott talked all that stuff and got put away real fast. And then it was like it was no Goldberg feud or nothing. It was just like spear, jackhammer out.
Over with.
Hi, Kim Lewis. You joined me again to talk about WCW 2000 again. So, during Nash's gauntlet, and this is what recently went viral. Do you remember when it went viral? Of Nash just big booting and putting his foot on people and pinning?
Yes.
Or power bombing, and Slick Johnson was counting before his foot even touched the person? That is that match. So, like I said, the new blood is putties every time they're just getting beat up. Jackknife, big boot, or not even jackknife, powerbomb, big boot, foot on 1, 2, 3. Right? Goldberg comes, like, eventually, they all jump him. Goldberg comes down. He saves it. Eric Bischoff threatens. He said, I'm going to suspend your ass. Then it cuts off and it goes to Thunder. Because remember, when Vince Russo came, he started making Thunder a continuation of the story. Mm-hmm. So you had to watch them both. On Thunder, they showed the footage of Nitro as it cut off. And Goldberg was hitting the police officers that was trying to arrest him. And I was just like,
all of them.
This was Booker T.
Like, no, I was just watching this like back over again. I was like, there's like two ways you can look at WCW 2000 to me. You can enjoy it for what it was, or you can just talk shit about it. I like to enjoy it for what it was. It was chaos and nonsense every week. on a weekly basis.
It is very easy to talk shit about it. But again, you've got a lot of wrestling we get today. It's similar or worse.
It can be.
Huh?
I said it can be. Definitely can be.
It's more, and WWE has gotten better with it, so it's mainly not them, but all the other stuff surrounding WWE. It's
a lot of people
like near's better. In ring, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else, it's up to par.
The ability to tell a story definitely ranked in the same.
We're not too far from it, you know?
Yes, absolutely.
So, yeah, like he was just punching the police officers because they weren't security guards. They were supposed to be local police officers. So they come out. They come out with men. Eric Bischoff gets out the limousine with men with suitcases, and he suspends Goldberg for 90 days. Mm-hmm. Later on in the episode, the New Blood is jumping Scott Steiner, and they put him in a straitjacket and put him in a body bag. Don't know why you need both, but that's what they did.
I thought it was hilarious.
I did too. While putting him in a body bag, Goldberg comes out, they jump him, and he overpowers all of them. Like, that's when they huddle over him, and then he pops, and they all fly back. And again, like I said, this is not about the booking of the New Blood, but the booking of the New Blood is why it felt. They were heels, they had the strength and numbers, but they was booked to be easily put down. There was no one of strength and power within the New Blood that was really any opposition for the Millionaires Club at that time.
Nah, they got wrecked every week.
And around this time, the Millionaires Club was pretty much kaput. It pretty much was a wrap for them. But
it's good, Driz.
Drizzy. Thank you for joining me again on the second night of the WCW conversation. Eric Bischoff comes out, sends the cops to go arrest him. Goes off the air. At pay-per-view again, they show how Goldberg is punching police.
Mm-hmm. Recklessly. No remorse.
Later on, they show Kevin Nash punching police too. And it was just like, this is not how police work.
Like, it's a running theme in this feud, actually. In this way.
I'm gonna get there because I'm coming in, but no, I'm gonna jump. Fuck it. Right? While they was trying to get Kevin Nash, the police, the cat came and like kicked Kevin Nash, and the police realized, whoa, and was trying to like detain the cat for a second. I was like, huh? He just big boot you.
They do nothing, man.
But you see what I'm saying?
They were the worst. They are the worst police. They are with no regards.
They're almost like real police.
Almost there.
White man big boot you still try to arrest him. Black man hit the man that big boot you gonna take him
You
too.
arrest him. Took the black man away for no reason.
So Bash at the Beach, it opens up with a recap of Goldberg's return. And it showed like pretty much all of that. Backstage, Bischoff is on the couch talking to the cat, talking about Goldberg shouldn't be here. He's not coming to mess up our plan. And it's Jeff Jarrett versus Kevin Nash. So they have the match. And again, I don't talk about WCW 2000 matches because there's like 5 to 8.
Yes.
All of them. Listen, there was a match. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This one was 17 minutes. Shut me up. It was a pay-per-view. Main event for the championship. So we have a 17-minute match. I'm still not going to talk about it because it was a lot of bells and whistles. But
interferences, everything.
Interferences. Goldberg comes out. So Goldberg comes out and the crowd is losing it. So he stands there. They're both on a double down. and they're like, he's getting ready to spear, and that's when you see Kevin Nash get up and point like, yeah, get him.
Mm-hmm.
Spears Kevin Nash. Gets up the iconic picture that we used as the cover of him hugging Eric Bischoff and
Vince Russo.
The funny thing is, I think that and maybe the following night is the only time he had any interactions with Goldberg. Because after a while, they both disappeared from TV for a while.
Who's this last one?
Bischoff and Russo. We don't see Russo again until Bash at the Beach.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see. I think Russo's at the Thunder. Yeah, Russo's at the Thunder after that, and we don't see Russo again until Bash at the Beach, and we don't see Eric Bischoff until the following night. So they come out. Russo and Bischoff comes out, and they're doing their victory lap. They arrive at Goldberg in a limousine, and since this is about Goldberg, that promo doesn't matter. But Goldberg comes and he cuts the promo. He said, "Don't ask me why. The question is, why not? Everyone in the back has been against me since day one. And they got all the cheers while Goldberg was gone. While he was gone, he said. I wrote it as him, but I'm trying to say it as him. Mm-hmm. They got all the cheers while Goldberg's gone. Now he signed a deal with the devil, so he gets what he wants. And he wants to stand over everyone and screw him, or that screwed him. So Kevin Nash comes out, and let's see what Kevin Nash says. Pretty much they cut the promo. Then they tried to fight. And this is when Vince was screaming, no, Kevin Nash, because this is when Kevin Nash was kicking the police. That's what I just talked about. I jumped ahead a second. So this is when Kevin Nash was kicking the police. So Vince Russo goes, no, I want ratings. So you're not going to get arrested. You're going to give me ratings.
Hey, it's Chaz.
Oh,
what's up,
no,
my man?
WCW made you drink?
Salud.
Yeah, the drink because of WCW, bro.
I mean, you know, it was always vibes when we get Hahrts up here, so it's only right. Get the tequila, get Brett, and just keep the party going. You know what I'm saying? I'm back.
Your camera said was drinking too.
I'm back. I'm back. Okay, yes, I did watch the final episode, and again, like I said,
we can talk about that later. We got to talk about Goldberg.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead. What we talking about?
Did you get a chance to watch any of the Hill run of Goldberg?
So I watched a documentary Nick sent about the whole kind of like the timeline from start to finish and when it started, all the way to like I want to say when he had that shoot interview talking about how he didn't want to do it anymore. It was okay, yeah.
How he loves his fans. That's pretty much the end of it.
That was the end.
Okay.
Yeah, you pretty much don't need to watch everything like I did. I actually need to quick it up here summaries, but the little things like Kevin Nash trying to kick the police and then the cat kicking the Kevin Nash and they detaining him makes me laugh. But now they put Kevin Nash in the police car until the match with Goldberg. And this is why, again, like I keep saying, and I keep harping back to like why I didn't necessarily like him with the New Blood, but I didn't mind the heel turn. He comes out. He doesn't come out with the knock on the door. He comes out. The New Blood comes out first. And then like they don't know where to stand. Like Palumbo right before Goldberg walks past the entrance. Goldberg comes out. He doesn't get the pyro. And it's just like having these guys behind you don't make you look bigger. You're more imposing without them. Because now, like what I just said, they didn't have anybody that was imposing or a threat to the Millionaires Club or the Faces.
Who would you think who would you call like the biggest threat in the New Blood?
Without Goldberg?
Yeah, without Goldberg. Who would you say is the biggest?
Unfortunately, Shane Douglas. But at that time, he wasn't really much of anything.
Nah, he got ended with a quick gauntlet matches too.
Yeah. Mike Awesome, sorry. No, it's Mike Awesome.
Oh, you know what?
Oh shit,
I forgot
all about Mike was in the dub.
I watched the ambulance match with him. That was hilarious.
Mike Awesome was the biggest threat. But again, because they just had this heel turn with Goldberg, they were still trying to figure out what to do with Mike Awesome because remember when he came in, he attacked Kevin Nash. So he was having a feud with Kevin Nash. So they kind of switched him to the U.S. title with Scott Hall at this time. But he was the biggest imposing figure in the New Blood at the time. And then Goldberg came. And again, you have all the cruiserweights that was in the New Blood, and they're very small compared to Goldberg's stature. You have Disco in a Kobe Bryant jersey.
Yo, he used to wear all the jerseys.
All the jerseys. You have all of these people that don't look imposing. It doesn't make this look like anything. All you really needed was Goldberg coming out and possibly Russo and Bischoff with him. But even that is too much. And I love the New Blood. Or I love the idea of the New Blood. So they come out, the New Blood is surrounding him. They slug it out. Nash knocks him to the floor. Goldberg takes over with a super kick. Nash fights back. New Blood is allowing Goldberg to hit Nash with a chair. All that stuff. Let's see. Nash gets busted open. So he's getting.
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm all good now.
So Nash is busted open and he's out cold. And Steiner comes out for the save. Well, no. First of all, they had Nash's nephew there.
They did.
Like, where's his son?
That was his son or his nephew?
It was.
That was his nephew.
Okay,
that's what they said at least.
They said it was his. It wasn't his son. It didn't look like his son. But then he had his nephew there, and Russo was like forcing him to watch Nash, who's out and bloodied up. Steiner came out.
Even away, he's still gonna find time to call you late.
So you mean I was overpowered? Overpowered? That's great.
But Hill Goldberg wasn't overpowered. He was the same amount of power. It's just that he had the bosses.
He was.
He did. That's how I look at it. You had the bosses with you. You don't need them. You don't need them.
Like, he had the bosses with him, but they didn't do much of nothing. They was getting outpowered at the end of every show. So
they didn't have nobody.
So Steiner comes out, and this is like when the cops come down and beats him with the clubs, and I just explained that. Thunder, Nash is furious because his nephew just watched him bloodied up. He attacks Russo. He attacks Jarrett. He attacks David Flair and the Cat. At the end of the show, Nash drags out Jeff Jarrett, and he's pretty much talking like it's Deliverance. Do you guys remember the movie Deliverance?
Yes.
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 Yeah, he's doing like the squill for me and the boys and to Jeff Jarrett. And if you guys can't even say blood, I don't think you can mimic Deliverance, Kevin Nash. So that's what Kevin Nash did. Russo comes to the stage and he asks Scott Hall's contract. So this is where the heel turn makes sense. Mm-hmm. I wish you was too, because you would help me. I know he watched it.
He definitely did.
So this is where the contract comes into play of Scott Hall. And Scott Hall has been gone since February. He was suspended for being drunk. And they also said he was, I don't know if it was Harvey Schiller or Brad Siegel's niece or daughter or someone, but apparently he was messing with one of the backstage guys' family.
Somebody.
So they sent him home. Bro. And that was it. So this is where they brought the contract up. They brought the contract out, and he says if Nash does anything else, the contract's gonna get ripped up. Goldberg comes from behind Kevin Nash and jumps him. Then him and Jeff beats up. And this is where they throw the contract in. So this is where they make Goldberg's heel turn make sense. Because everybody's like, oh, the heel turn doesn't make sense. So they open up the following Nitro with the recap. For some reason, Horace calls out Goldberg.
And gets destroyed.
He calls him out. I didn't talk about the Hogan match because I don't like Hogan. But Goldberg interfered in a Hogan match with Jeff Jarrett.
That was like Great American Bash.
Hogan, Horace?
Huh?
Wasn't somebody related to Hogan in this storyline?
Horace.
Right, okay.
That's his nephew.
It's a lot of nephews in this story.
He looks like him.
Right.
He looks exactly like him.
Jesus, man. Ugh.
So he pretty much calls out Goldberg. He calls him a fly-by-night and how dare he attacks his uncle who built this business. Of course my hair always does this. It always, in the middle of me talking, starts touching me and I get annoyed.
It's fine. This is what this podcast is. It's a family show. Do what you gotta do, man.
Yeah. And then I feel it growing and I don't.
What's funny is I see you do the same thing when you and your mans be talking about WCW.
Cause my hair has a mind of its own. Like last night was like the only night where it was just like, we cool. You don't gotta worry about us.
All good.
But it's hot today and I hate it.
It turned on you today.
Yes. I only get a couple of hours. So Goldberg comes out and he just beats the shit out of Horace. I don't have to talk about this because it's Horace Hogan. Why the hell do we need to talk about Horace Hogan?
Correct.
Let's see. Nash comes out. He has a match with the cat because he wants the briefcase because he thinks that the cat has the contract. So he gets the key to the contract, the key to the briefcase. He opens it up and it's pictures of the cat in the envelope, not the contract. Goldberg comes on the screen. He said, "I got your girlfriend's contract," and it bothers. So he says, "I got your girlfriend's contract," and then he puts it online at Bash at the Beach. Then he eats the contract.
Yes.
He eats the contract. Right?
I didn't understand eating it. I was just like, you have it already, bro. And then you keep pulling it out. Oh, I know.
So Kevin Nash cuts a promo. He says that Bash at the Beach happens to be his birthday.
Was it?
A really bad night for him. And he says Scott Hall just happens to live 40 minutes away from where it's going to be.
Yo, as a kid, when I was watching this, I was like so excited because I really missed Scott Hall. So I was like, that means Scott Hall's going to be there. It's going to be great.
So I had an older brother who told me all of these things. So I didn't know if he was going to be there or not, but I knew that he was suspended or he was in trouble. The following Nitro, the cat sets up a qualifying match. He said Goldberg gets a bye. It's going to be Mike Awesome and Kevin Nash, Scott Steiner and Shane Douglas, and they're going to face Jeff Jarrett for his title. At that time period, Jeff Jarrett was facing everybody every Monday and Wednesday, defending his championship.
All the time.
All the time. Workhorse.
Against multiple people.
Yeah.
My favorite match of one of those matches was him versus Sting. Like before the Great American Bash. The match he had with him and Sting before the Great American Bash.
Yes.
I love that match. That was a great time.
Yes. Here's the thing. Another reason why I was like, I don't feel prepared is because what happens is I catch myself watching longer than I need to. I'm like, wait, I don't need this.
This isn't relevant. I don't need to do this right now.
And it's like, I didn't have enough time and Stan set me back. It was an R&B security shirt. I'm sure of it.
I was about to say, that man had you watching WWE.
No, we was watching the lead to WrestleMania 14. Mm-hmm. And I can't complain that much about it because it was good shows.
Agreed. Shout out to Stan.
Yeah, shout out to
Stan. He's gonna do it in wrestling or he'll be here with us.
Respect.
So then after the cat sets up the match, Hacksaw Jim Duggan comes out.
Yeah, poor Hacksaw.
Oh.
What's up?
I forgot he was in WCW as well.
It was poor us. It was poor fans. We got to see Hacksaw Jim Duggan in 2000. Like, he talks about how Russo booked him. You should have been there, Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was
Hacksaw
I just
Jim
watched.
Duggan paid money.
Of course,
Oh yeah.
Anyhow,
they took his 2x4 away.
That that's the main piece.
so he said he's been sitting around long enough, and now it's time for him to stand up for the heroes around here. Talks about how, like, Hogan's gone, Flair's retired, all of this other stuff. We don't care. Hacksaw Jim Duggan. He wants Goldberg to beat some sense in him, apparently. I guess. Duggan said despite his health issues, the Cat's gonna have to explain to Russo and Bischoff why he's the champion.
That'd have been a terrible decision if he won.
The fact that they even like threatened us like that.
You don't want to see him with the belt, man. You ain't want to see him with the big gold.
He was not even thugging at this point. I didn't want to see Hacksaw Jim Duggan. It's a rap line, and when my brother comes out, I'm gonna ask him. I think it was Busta Rhymes, but he said Hacksaw Jim Duggan been thugging.
I can't remember. I do
just
remember
for
the line.
context, when did he sign to WCW?
I don't know, but in the Nitro that everybody tries to tell us is good because, you know, 2000 is bad, it was a Hacksaw Jim Duggan match on every Nitro during that time period. So how good was it?
Damn,
That's
rough. That is rough.
We had to watch Hacksaw Jim, the NWO come out, and then Hacksaw Jim music. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh,
You just sitting there like, why? Like, it pisses me off because they swear that 2000 is the worst, but it was not much better before. We just had some cool things.
Right.
Am I lying, Nolo?
no, I'm not lying.
We had some cool things, and then it was Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Being the worst.
And Roddy Piper would come out and yell and show us his hip scar. I digress because I could go on.
Oh God!
I never want to think about the hip scar ever again.
Woo.
Listen, before the match, Kat says you can't have your 2x4.
So Kat was like the commissioner at this time.
He was the commissioner at this time, but he was the Hill commissioner. But this is around the time period. He was the Hill commissioner, but he was booking things, and it made you look at him like, Kat, why the fuck are you booking this?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, why would you book Jeff Jarrett in a 4-way match for his belt if you're supposed to be on his team?
Right. Okay. Got it.
He didn't make a lot of sense from a heel.
He was starting to sway.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was going back and forth.
Okay. Got
Not necessarily going back and forth, but again, this kind of looks like Eric Bischoff made him the commissioner. And all of those guys are Russo's guys, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
So it kind of like plants the seeds of them two having dissension, but it was never worked on because Bash at the Beach is coming up.
Okay.
Fun.
Honestly, it really was. I remember watching these things live. They take away the 2x4, and Goldberg beats the dog shit out of him.
Yes.
Ain't no more kidneys.
He beats the dog shit out of him, pin him, and then beats the dog shit out of his kidneys.
Dog, he beat his kidney for it felt like an hour.
That nigga was tenderizing his fucking kidney, bro.
Goldberg, I know. But here's the thing. This whole time, everybody's still cheering Goldberg.
Yes.
That part, right.
Every time he hits his spirit and his jackknife, everybody's still cheering Goldberg.
Right.
So this is the night that they had to do something really drastic.
I got you. Right.
To turn him heel. It only worked for this night.
I think I saw a note. He made a Make-A-Wish kid cry.
Say it again?
He made a Make-A-Wish kid cry?
Possibly. Because because Jim Duggan was coming back from like cancer and messed up kidneys and all that stuff.
Yeah, and
So
they
him,
sent that
like,
man off in an
jamming and saying
ambulance.
stuff. And then now his mouth is bleeding.
I saw a picture of that.
And his wife is running out. And Kevin Nash was like, this bullshit. all the non-New Blood guys are like, oh my gosh, Hacksaw and Jim Duggan. Well, you should have fucking been in the ring in 2000.
Correct.
I really didn't feel no bad about this. I said, finally. Mind you, at this time, I'm all of what, 10? I'm not even 10 yet. No, I'm 10 turning 11, I think. And I'm like, fuck yes. Get his ass out of here. That's why I like the New Blood. Because I was like, yo, get all these old niggas except for like Sting and maybe DDP and Nash out of here.
Right.
Go away, Flair. Go away, Hogan.
You named everybody I like pretty much. That's
everybody I liked. Listen, WCW is a better place without Hogan and sometimes Flair. Sometimes Flair is good. Most of the time, Flair is not.
Booker T was Blue Blood?
Huh? So, in the beginning, he was. And then they fired him along with, like, the MIA, and that's how he turned into G.I. Bro.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, because I was like, didn't he start out as G.I. Bro? And he went back to it?
Well, he started out his career as G.I. Bro.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then he randomly became G.I. Bro.
Well, because they were all fired from the company, but they were still there.
Yeah.
So they were misfits, and they had
misfits in action. I remember. It took when I try to tell you when I watched that over again. I said, "Wow, I kind of deleted this."
Did you used to love the Misfits too?
I did as a kid.
Kid, as an adult, I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, what the hell are we doing, Lieutenant Loco?
We didn't. Why is his granddaddy a freak? Why is he here?
No, it was just an interesting.
A quick rant. Everybody talks about his name was General Huge Erection. I think they said that probably twice on TV. His name before that was Hugh Morris.
Yes, it was.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't much better before.
Yeah, it wasn't much better.
And nobody called him Huge Erection. Everybody just called him General Erection. Yep. We were stupid kids. We're not gonna know that.
Right.
Hey man, I was 12. I was immature as shit, having a great time.
Listen, because they said General Huge Erection only 2 times, I forgot it. That's something you gotta continue to say to me.
Right.
And then I was like, that was his name. Ugh. Right? But Hugh Morris wasn't any better. So, right? After he destroys Jim Duggan, now we have a gauntlet match.
They loved those back then.
Huh?
I said they loved those gauntlet matches, man.
Gauntlets, tournaments. Those are Russo's things.
Yeah.
Okay, so before Nash comes out, they open the door. Goldberg done fucked him up like a Kuma. He was just on the floor, and we ain't see nothing. So now it's just Steiner and Jarrett, and they're fighting it out. And then Goldberg comes out, and Goldberg has no intention on trying to win this belt for now.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just beating up Steiner. Nash comes out. They beat up Nash. Mike Lawson comes out. He takes a powerbomb. But Goldberg, he hits Nash with a super kick, and they mentioned that is the super kick that took out Bret Hart.
It looked like it. It looked like it. It still looked like it.
We didn't need that.
You know what I just noticed watching this? Goldberg's knee pads are so tiny.
Yeah, ain't no protection.
Yeah, this nigga was not protecting nobody, not even his knees.
Yeah, all that knee.
It just was covering his kneecap. Like, anyhow, certain things just distract me. So he hits him with the super kick. Jarrett falls on him. He gets the pin. He pulls out the contract that he already ate.
Ugh.
And he makes Nash eats it.
Ugh.
I didn't understand why they keep trying to make him eat it, bro.
Ugh.
And then
God.
he just came back with a new contract every week.
No, but the new contract was tatted up like contract been through things.
Oh boy.
Right?
Absolutely, Mika. Absolutely. Very disgusting.
Yeah. It's like it's a bunch of things that's like what's happening?
How many mouths has that contract
Like
been
he
in?
ate that he put the contract in his mouth and chewed it. And we seen him do it.
On the Titantron.
So you like afterwards you take it out, like flatten it out and let it dry?
You know, a lot of things that have happened in wrestling, especially around that time beforehand, I'm surprised the pandemic didn't happen earlier. Because what?
Listen, that was after the AIDS epidemic. I'm surprised they did a lot of those things.
Oh,
Listen. I seen something like Jim Cornette talking about WCW if Paul Heyman would have been around. One, he wouldn't have been able to run it. And two, did we see the shit that Paul Heyman was doing on ECW when he was running things himself? I
Crash Test
barely
Dummies.
watch ECW because it disgusts me.
Oh, no, I love ECW. It was a great time.
I like certain things. I love ECW Raven. I like some parts of Chaz. I like Mike Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I like sometimes Stevie Richards.
Mikey Whipwreck was my guy.
Unsanitary, but quality TV watching at times.
Say it again?
Yeah. Unsanitary, but quality TV watching.
Here's the thing. Realistically, it was not fucking quality TV. You put on ECW TV, it is more scattered than anything on WCW.
It didn't make sense all the time.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't go with the expectation of it making sense. I knew what it was, so I guess that's why
you had to do the same thing that I had to do to get all of this information. You had to pick a storyline and follow it. And that is the only way you're gonna get the quality out of watching ECW. If you were watching the television week to week, that shit was like a fucking. It was like when they had the end of the year show, and it would be the best of Nitros. It was like watching that.
Damn.
Hey man, RVD was my guy back then. That's what
he was.
Like you had great things and great people and great matches, but it wasn't anything. It wasn't like linear.
No, absolutely.
No.
Like you said,
agreed.
At the ECW arena, Eddie Guerrero came and had a match last weekend at the ECW arena, and that'll be the next motherfucking match.
Mm-hmm.
It was not.
Chris Jericho stops by the arena.
Nah, I can tear apart anything. I think that's my kids. Like then you say you like, I can find the flaws in everything.
I won't argue those valid points.
Hey.
No,
flaws and all, baby. Flaws and all.
Yeah, right.
You had times where you had great matches, and you had times where you had dog shit matches where it'll be like, this match was 4 months ago. This match was last week. This match they did last night somewhere in Paulie's house. And it's just like, oh, okay, this is kind of cute.
Hey,
again,
don't forget the random promos.
I watched a lot of it live, so I tried to go back and rewatch it. Oh, okay.
Those promos were random as fuck, bro. I have a fever dream of Jazz cutting a promo with like barbed wire on her hand.
But if you isolate it, it's fun.
Right. That's fair.
Same way you gotta isolate these things. So they show a video package. This is the go home to Bash Up the Beach. They show a video package of the Outsiders, and they show you how bad they fucking up by not having Scott Hall around. But again, I understand because Scott Hall was fucking up bad by being around. So, like you just see clips from the Outsiders. Then Goldberg screaming in the truck, "Turn that shit off!" Just tells him turn it the fuck off, pretty much. Goldberg, he's still getting big pops every time he comes out.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He already beat up Jim Duggan and they booed him. And then the week later, they said, "Woo, it's Goldberg!"
Like nothing ever happened.
Like it was just, let's all forget it.
Like he just beat up someone that just came back from cancer.
Took the motherfucker to the upper room.
They tried, and I commend them from trying to make him heel. And Goldberg even tried being heel himself. What I like to look at it as not him being heel, but him getting his revenge.
Mm.
Goldberg's revenge.
Revenge tour Goldberg.
Because after he gets his revenge, he kind of goes back to cool. I'm not a hill Goldberg. Let me hug kids.
I don't know what you're talking about. Like, hey, what do you mean? Let's forget everything I did for the last month has changed.
But again, it makes sense, right? I didn't even start where I wanted to start. It makes sense. Hold on, but he says he comes out to Big Pop and he says, I'm tired of hearing about the outsiders. They're some of the biggest pieces of garbage in wrestling. He said, I carried this company for the past 2 years and he's sick of having to do it. Nash comes out, they start to fight, and then the cat comes out screaming, cut to commercial, right? Mm-hmm. They have a battle royal. But it wasn't a fucking battle royal. They were just sending out no blood people and telling the faces, no, you don't go, until the faces say, get out of here, cat. And then Nash and Goldberg has a pull apart. And this leads to Bash at the Beach. Now, I was supposed to do this in the beginning. I was supposed to hark back to 1998. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. No, it was Starrcade 98.
It was 98.
Where Goldberg lost his streak to Nash. And Nash said it in one of these promos. He said, I'm the only one to ever beat you, Goldberg.
True. One of my favorite moments in wrestling.
Very true.
It is. I love that moment. But again, it harks back to that period. Mm-hmm. Where he gets hit with the taser, he loses his belt, and he loses his streak. And then if you look at it at that, like Goldberg has just been spiraling since.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because that leads to like the new NWO stuff. That leads to all this stuff in 99. And then he ends 99 tearing up his arm. So, of course, during his injury, he could be pissed off because Hall and Nash were still there for a certain period of time. Remember, Nash became a commissioner at that point. So, he could say he's watching TV and see these things. But that's like the basis and the origin of all of this happening. Goldberg wanted his revenge because he hated the outsiders for everything they did to him. And everybody goes, it doesn't make any sense. It's a simple story. It's just put in a time period where everything was overbooked.
Chaos.
Yeah.
Everything.
That's definitely that is definitely the common theme I got from that whole what I watched. It just the elements were there for it to be a solid storyline, but it was just so chaotic. You really couldn't. It was hard to kind of keep up to where it was kind of going or where it even started from.
Like even if they did like a package of like everything that you said, it'd just be like his villain origin story. It'd made everything make so much sense. It laid it out for everybody.
But they yes, and they're bad at that. WCW was always bad at like telling the story.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll give you the story. I think the only time they really told the story was Sting.
Yeah.
Of course. So again, we arrive at Bash at the Beach, and here's a pay-per-view. So you know at the pay-per-view, nothing's ever gonna. The pay-per-views, I tell everybody the pay-per-views. You know why? Because everybody only cared about ratings. Everybody only cared about ratings. So the pay-per-views, you was gonna get whatever they felt like. Vince Russo's pay-per-views felt like TV shows, and Eric Bischoff's pay-per-views were boring. But Goldberg cuts a promo about how it's taking a lot of professional courtesy for him not to rip the contract up, even though we seen him eat it and we seen him feed it to Kevin Nash. So this contract he's holding up is a new contract that they like tatted up to make us believe. No, that other contract was like hanging on by a prayer.
Yep.
We seen him tear it up with his teeth. But this is one of Goldberg's better promo. He said he's more pissed off than he ever been. He's going to beat Kevin Nash from post to post and tear the contract up right in his face. The outsider, as we know it, as everyone knows it, is history. Tonight, he's personally ending Scott Hall's career, and it's not a damn thing Scott Hall could do about it, because around this time, I think they officially fired Scott Hall.
No, I was just about to ask you, like, did Scott Hall ever come back and run a sound? But you answered my question.
No.
Got it.
Nah.
Never comes back. It's
Man, one time for the bad guy.
honestly, he needed to go home.
He was wilding.
I got you.
Beginning of the year, they were literally drunk on television.
I got you.
And pretending to drink cold medicine at one point. They was drinking scissor. Pretty much.
Damn. Fair
Pretty
enough.
much.
They was having a time on TV, bro.
Yeah. So this
Time.
match is a 5-minute match.
There you go. We was talking about this earlier.
How
This is how most. Yes, how most of these matches were this short.
Yeah. Here's the thing about Vince Russo. And I said it last night and I say it all the time. Vince Russo shouldn't have been a booker of the matches. That's why I worked in WWF. Vince McMahon booked the matches until Vince Russo writes something. Mm-hmm. And then said, all right, for our champions, we're going to do it this way. And everybody else did whatever the fuck Russo wrote. We had whole jack matches and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But we needed a booker to book the show, and Russo just right around what was booked.
Quick question, and I'll get back to it.
Go ahead.
How much? Because I think it's unfair, like you, to put all the blame on Vince Russo. But given like everything you know about it, how much blame does he deserve for, I guess, the quote unquote destruction towards the end?
Towards the company, not much, but towards the goodwill with the fans, that's where the destruction is.
Okay.
The fans that support the company and that purchase the pay-per-views and stuff like that. His pay-per-views were just like Nitros. They weren't getting into wrestling like WCW. Where the big boys play came from, they had wrestling.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right.
Vince was doing all the gimmicky stuff and all that other stuff, but they had wrestling matches.
Like the real graps.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And Vince Russo didn't care about any of that. And the fact that he only cared about ratings from WWF and Turner only cared about ratings, it was no reason to focus on that.
Right.
So the people that's been with WCW through the years, who are accustomed to seeing good matches, weren't getting any of that.
I got you.
He pretty much ruined the working deal that they had with Mexico and Japan.
Yeah.
And a lot of the things, he lost a lot of goodwill with a lot of people. So for that part, that's where his blame is.
I got you. Okay.
His style of booking pissed a lot of people off.
Got it. So he kind of went away from like paying attention to like the mid-card acts of people that could really, really, put on the show as far as grappling wise. And
say that again?
He went away from like the mid-card acts and like people that could really like put on the show as far as the graps wise.
No, he leaned into the mid-card. Vince Russo leaned into the mid-card, and he actually tried to put away the older guys. He tried to he set Sting on fire so Sting could be off of TV. They buried Ric Flair in the desert and retired him and all that stuff. They kept trying to put Hogan out. They tried to put those old guys out and bring up the mid-card. What happened, like I said, he ruined a lot of those working relationships. So a lot of the luchas they had and a lot of the wrestlers from Japan, the Japanese wrestlers, were gone now.
Okay.
Like Muda was still around sometimes.
Right.
But a lot of those faces were gone.
Was Ray still around at this time?
Ray? Yeah.
Ray? Okay. Ray, Billy Kidman.
Ray Kidman, Hoovy, Conan. Okay. Mm-hmm. I believe La Parka was there because remember that's when they put a voice on him?
Yes.
He leaned into that. But then they also lost the mid-card that was ready to be put into the main event with Chris, with Dean, with Jericho. They lost earlier that year, with Saturn, and with Eddie. Okay. Those were the guys that you could bolster up and kind of look like we can go somewhere with this.
I got you.
They lost them early because when Russo went home, Kevin Sullivan came. And we all know the beef with Chris Benoit and Kevin Sullivan.
Right.
So they lost those guys.
deeper than rap.
And then the rest of those guys weren't put in a position to where they could be looked at as this could be our main event.
Okay.
That's why people talk so bad about Jeff Jarrett, because it was just like he came back out of nowhere from mid-card to main event. Which, if you are looking for a new main event star, where the fuck do you look?
The mid-card.
Right.
So,
hey, we don't disrespect Jeff Jarrett around here.
We don't respect Jeff anywhere where I'm at.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
But he lost a lot of goodwill with the stars. The stars didn't like his way of booking. But a lot of the mid-carders still rock with him to this day. And he tried, but he wasn't a wrestling guy. He didn't care about the wrestling. He felt that the wrestling wasn't going to hook the fans. Because what was the wrestling didn't hook the fans.
Right.
When they shortened the matches and gave more everything else, that's when they received the highest ratings wrestling has ever seen.
Gotcha. Okay.
So blame him for the storylines he ruined and the relationships that he ruined with New Japan and Mexico, the Mexican wrestlers. Put the blame on him for that. For killing a company.
That's a heavy statement, like killing a whole company when it was already.
People say he killed Owen Hart. They always throw that stuff at his feet.
Like, that's some wild shit.
What?
I'm looking at
some wild shit.
Roddy Piper. He didn't kill no Owen Hart. Sorry, that pissed me off.
That's some wild shit.
But the killing the company thing is because like he squandered all the this and listen, what he did wasn't making them any money. But what he didn't do was sign the contracts and the deals that made them continue to lose money.
Go bankrupt.
He was not in charge of booking the venues.
Right.
He was not in charge of signing the contracts. Do you know where that lands?
That's
Eric Bischoff's feet.
Oh,
yep.
Right.
Eric Bischoff signed the contracts.
Right.
Now, booking the venues and everything else, that goes to Turner and everybody. But, again, like they said on the show last night, they padded the fuck out of that $62 million they tried to say Vince Russo lost.
Yeah, that...
Was last night's the last episode?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't watch it.
It should have been a two-parter because they skimmed past it, but we get an hour-long Vince Russo special.
67 million, but it only sold for like what, 2.3, something like that?
They didn't even try to recoup anything they lost. Again. I'll see y'all Tuesday for that.
Okay, right.
Yeah, I got you.
Right. Sorry. So
that's
sorry.
where Vince Russo lays. Vince Russo lays in what his type of booking and his mind frame for wrestling, how it affected certain people. And realistically, it didn't really affect the fans that much that were there. The fans that were there were going to be there. By the time Vince Russo got there, they were low to mid threes, high twos.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They stayed in the twos until they was canceled. So he didn't do much to kill the audience or the rating.
Right.
Everybody goes, the ratings plummeted. No, the ratings were spiraling down from 98.
Yep, just gradually going down.
And I won't even say like it was spiraling because of anything WCW was doing. WWF was on fire.
True.
Hey, there was a long time WCW was winning. It was a great time.
Listen, and they didn't build anything where they continue. This is working. We're going to keep doing it instead of, all right, so we have this. Let's pick this up.
They didn't plan worth a damn, or at least not well.
And Russo WWE didn't plan either.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's just what happened was Vince was patient enough to, this is, all right, let's see this through.
Mm-hmm. So at the time, around the 2000s, you would say that WCW had the better talent, but WWE had the better structure?
No.
Nah, WWE had the talent.
WWE had a talent. WWE had a structure. WWE had the television. WWE had the presentation. WWE had the production. WCW had the better talent. 96. Sort of I wouldn't even say 97. 97, that's when WWE said, "Now we doing things over here.
We got a plan, baby."
Not even a plan. We got all these new guys because y'all was letting them go like idiots. But in 97, they didn't have the guys that was going to be stars wasn't stars yet. But they had them.
Okay.
When 98 came, that was it for WCW. They didn't have the talent anymore. And the talent that they could have made, they weren't using.
Right.
And they lost them to WWF.
Got it.
Like, I love WCW, but I was born into this WWF girl. I'm in New York. What do you think I was watching? But I grew a fondness for WCW because I love the NWO, and then, you know, I love all the silly antics of Vince Russo. Mm-hmm. So, but they were at that point in time from 98 on, they was deserved getting their ass beat.
Yeah.
It was nothing they could do.
Yeah.
Instead of be better. I didn't think it was gonna die because look at the ghost of TNA. It's still here.
Hey, yeah, that it is.
TNA is not.
TNA
I mean,
is like
I don't
a
look at it as a
cockroach.
TNA
it's a roach.
It's a skeleton right now, but it's still here.
No, they ain't ready to have a
dog.
cockroach. They never gonna go away.
That shows you bad booking doesn't kill a company. You may not be thriving, but you're still
it won't kill you.
kicking.
TNA survived a lot.
For sure.
TNA survived Hogan and Bischoff again.
They did.
Yeah.
God almighty,
Less
they
money.
did. Whew.
Yep.
They did.
So, the match we're gonna get through Bash at the Beach, and we could just skim through the rest of it because after Bash at the Beach, he wasn't really a heel anymore.
He wasn't. He stopped.
So, Bash at the Beach, the match between Kevin Nash again was 5 minutes. The fans, they're not booing Goldberg, but they're not cheering him that loud. I guess all the antics kind of caught up to him by Bash at the Beach. They were cheering Nash, and for some reason, Scott Steiner comes out and turns on Nash.
Wasn't this around the time when Scott Steiner was just going crazy?
This is when Scott Steiner started.
Yeah.
So, okay. I remember like bits and pieces. I remember that for sure.
He starts going crazy after this because then after this match, like Goldberg spares him 1, 2, 3, rips up the contract, throws it on Nash. Literally, Nash just laid their contract on him. Literally after this, Nash is dejected.
Mm-hmm.
Period. In storyline and out storyline. Like
So
go ahead.
So was he still after this? Was he still like present on television, or did he kind of?
Yeah, he was on television until
He was
okay.
there.
Today. Okay, gotcha.
he became Coach Nash. He turned heel after New Blood Rising 2, or heelish. But this was like the end of the New Blood versus the Millionaires Club, even though New Blood Rising will be the next pay-per-view. The following night, Booker T in his I'm the New Champion speech comes out. He said, I want to talk about Goldberg. He's a mark for himself. He's a mark for the business. Me as a kid was like, oh, you just called this nigga a mark-ass bitch on TV. I ain't no mark. That's what WCW was good for. WCW was good for I learned all the insider terms because I watched WCW 2000. I learned shoot. I learned mark. I learned going into business for himself.
Because they will happily say it. And then you
This is not a work.
Yes.
This is not on the script.
So
And then they had the Thunder interviews where it'll be like, you know what? I just didn't care about when Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan was here. You know? They'll tell you the shit on Thunder. And it was just like, wait, what?
So 2000 was like a blur of like blending the line between real and fake, or real and
Vince also loved the insider baseball shit.
Yeah.
He loved pulling back that curtain. So everything was that. When they started the New Blood, Eric Bischoff said to Sid Vicious, "You don't have your scissors with you."
I'm sorry, what?
Said to Sid Vicious, "You don't have your scissors with you," because he was stripping him of the belt. And that was a callback to when he stabbed Arn Anderson backstage with the scissors, for all who don't know.
My uncle would tell me that story over and over again, like before I even knew what wrestling was. That's the only reason I remember it.
And they said it on TV in 2000.
Damn, I wish I was in the trenches back then. Fuck!
What, you know what it is? You know what it is? One, it was overbooked. If it wasn't overbooked and it was like 6 to 5 years later, people would be talking about this time period completely different. They weren't gimmicking us out. The New Blood was, they dead ass was shitting on these guys for many years. And Hogan and Billy Kidman. Hogan went on a show and said how Billy Kidman couldn't carry his socks or some shit. So then they made it a feud where Billy Kidman beat Hogan twice for some reason. I don't understand why Hogan let that happen.
I was shocked he let it happen.
He probably knew he was gonna get his lick back at Bash at the Beach. Or
yo, dog, he beat him twice.
Yo, what?
Twice. Billy Kidman.
Yeah. Sounds Russo, bro. Sounds Russo.
Oh, shit.
Things were just happening, and you would watch like,
yo, what? I wish I was there. Damn. Oh, God. What a time. I miss all this.
You did.
That's tough.
It's all good, man. You got the network. You can always get back.
I do. You're right. You do. You know what? You're right. You're right. You're right.
I suggested
find something you want to watch.
Yeah.
And watch that. Don't watch everything. Everything is too much.
Just follow the storyline.
This was put in 3 weeks into 2 episodes.
Damn. Okay.
It's literally a lot of chaos from, like, it was just like a train wreck that you love to watch, but it was great.
When did all this start? Like, what was the time frame that it, like the year that this started? Like 98?
Like 2000?
Yeah, 2000.
Everything started in 2000. Only thing started in 98 was Goldberg losing. Everything started in 2000.
2000. Okay, bet.
Or late 99 when Goldberg punched through a glass window.
Okay, bet.
And then he went away.
So, like, it's pick someone you want to follow throughout that year.
And just ride it out.
Like me, I was following Goldberg. And I enjoyed it when I just followed Goldberg. But then you kind of get lost. Like, why is Tank Abbott with 3 count now? Wasn't he just fighting Goldberg? Yeah. It's because he's seen them perform their new song and he loved it.
Damn. That's some chaos.
It was just silly fun.
That's right up my alley.
Fun. As like, if you are someone who likes wrestling and wrestling matches, WCW 2000 is not for you. You are never going to get a wrestling match in WCW 2000. And when you get them, you're like, what the fuck is this? Look at TJ Jarrett. Why y'all doing this on a Thunder?
Right. Yo, man. Like, if you just want, like, some silliness, some outrageousness, and something that can make you laugh,
say less.
There you go.
That's my type of shit. I like balance. I like duality.
Yes. The night after, they have a match with Canyon because he beat Booker T at Bash at the Beach before. Oh, he was a part of the madness. Yo, it's so many things I can come back and do on this watch list show. I don't even know why I started with Goldberg.
I was kind of surprised you started with Goldberg. I said, "Oh, really? Interesting."
Because I was cussing him out all week, and I was just like,
"That's fair."
About him in 2000 when it was kind of okay.
That's fair.
I called him all types of hoes and meat mouths and dick eatings. I did. So let's talk about Goldberg a little bit nicely for 5 minutes before he fucks it up. It was Jeff Jarrett who just lost the belt to Booker T. Canyon who beat Booker T at Bash at the Beach before he beat Jeff Jarrett for the belt. Scott Steiner because he be wildin', and Goldberg because
why not?
He's Goldberg. And they're in a fatal 4-way to see who gets the title shot at New Blood Rising. I was supposed to call it Bad Blood. That match was a lot. I would never think to see those 4 in a match. It was a lot, but it was nothing. Goldberg breaks up the recliner. Kane hits an Alabama slam. It's too much. But Goldberg stares down with Steiner.
Yep.
And this is when Goldberg and Steiner start beefing with each other. And how many more beefs is it after this? 1, 2, 3. Well, hold on. It's 6 more shows that I didn't get to fully watch to give you the full down. But I can skim through something real quick and tell y'all what happened. It's a fucking lot. It was
Before
a fucking lot. You get the promo where Goldberg said he hated having to turn on his fans and the kids. You get Nash. You get Nash. You get Steiner choking out Mike Tenay because he's calling it the Frankenstein now.
Yep. It was on like a bus or something, wasn't it?
It was on a bus.
Yeah.
And he called it the Frankenstein ever since. So you called it the Frankenstein again. I'm coming down to the desk. I don't know if this was before or after, but he jackknifes Medeja at one point, Goldberg.
Mm-hmm.
And then Scott Steiner said, "I got your ugly bitch, Goldberg." Again, like I said, I didn't watch it fully to give you the full breakdown of that. But after this, Goldberg was not a heel anymore. And it's a telltale sign of everything that was happening around WCW at that time. It'll start and it will never be a finish.
I remember
this whole shit is nuts, bro.
It is. It's like
I remember when they had their match when what was it when Scott Steiner hit him with the lead pipe, like at the start of the joint, like as soon as he walked through the door.
Yeah, that was. I think that was. I don't know if that was after he was Medeja with him or was that after he.
I think that was after. I think that was after Medeja.
He was just waiting for him to come, and Goldberg walks in, and he just get hit with the pipe.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this is Scott Steiner going into crazy.
Was he trying to like what was the method behind the American Psycho Scott Steiner? What was behind that?
That's how Scott Steiner was. So they just let him be Scott Steiner on TV.
Told that man he was too dumb to get into Michigan.
Yeah, he said, "You too dumb to get into Michigan."
He's too dumb.
And again, that's who Scott Steiner is. Yeah, like I don't think Goldberg was on Thunders after this. I think that's when it was just showing like the interviews. But yeah, it was just so much going on. I'm trying to like skim real fast to see if there's anything major. But no, I think we got all of the hits until New Blood Rising. And New Blood Rising, that's when it was the fucking crazy ass match between Kevin Nash, Goldberg, and Scott Steiner. And leading up to that, he was like, "Russo, I'm not following your script anymore. Fuck you, Russo." And it was just like, oh, again? Because remember, Bash at the Beach was just Russo saying, "Fuck you, Hogan."
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
Let's do it again.
So again, at Bash at the Beach, Goldberg just says "fuck you" and walk off, and he was not a heel anymore. He did nothing heelish after that. That was the end of heel Goldberg. It made sense to do it. Maybe it didn't make sense at that time to do it. Maybe if they did it in '99 after he lost the streak.
That'd made the most sense.
Right.
That made the most sense.
Because it wasn't like, and correct me if I'm wrong, like, didn't Russo say, like, if you lose, you're fired?
That's after that. That's when he went backstage, and they said, well, now you got to beat your streak.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh,
damn. Well, I was literally about to ask you a question. I was about to be like, yo. I was about to be like, hey, Hahrts.
Hey,
like,
listen.
if you could book Goldberg's heel turn, what would you do? But she's gone. Well, hey, that's fine. Hey,
The
Chaz.
way this episode has been going is right on brand. It's right on
brother.
brand.
Hey, man, I've had a great time.
It's right on fucking brand.
Hey, Chaz.
Sir.
So if you were to book Goldberg's heel, what would you do? She did, Scotland. She did.
You know, she did. She definitely did.
She hit us with the instant transmission, like Goku. It
was like that. So again, like I said, like we talked about before, I wasn't too fond about it, but bits and pieces about WCW I do remember. I just remember when I first saw it.
Mm-hmm.
I got it in the sense of we needed something new, right? So in my mind, when I'm watching the documentary Nick sent me, and I'm thinking about it all the time, like, all right, well, if you're gonna make him heel, you should probably find somebody who, I mean, I got the outsider storyline, of course, but if you're gonna make somebody who is just like this overall big ass baby face who everybody loves, but you're gonna turn the heel, you got to find somebody who is just.
Hey, she back.
Oh, she back. Okay, wait, she back.
She back.
I was like, did the stream end?
Nah,
you went to Twitter and said, no, it was me. It just took me to the StreamYard screen. I said,
I thought something happened with your Wi-Fi. I thought you was over it. You had enough.
I was like, it's not my service.
She was like, yo, I'm out of here.
I'm good.
I'm tired of talking about Goldberg.
I thought Goldberg was like your stopping point.
Listen.
Okay, Nolo, you can go and ask her the question.
Okay, cool. So I'll ask you the question I was about to ask before you instant transmission on us. What would you do? How would you have booked Goldberg's heel turn?
I would have did it shortly after he lost the streak.
Mm-hmm.
I would still do it. It would still be the same motive, but I guess they did it because Cole was still there.
Yeah.
Cole wasn't there anymore, so they used his contract as the reasoning. I don't mind him turning and aligning himself with the Hill bosses. Mm-hmm. I mind them having all of the rest of the new blood look like jabronis. Because again, they were imposing and Goldberg's imposing. So you just look like a tiny motherfucker standing behind him or next to him for no reason. On top of the fact, a lot of them was guys straight out of power plant that had no business being there anyhow.
Mm.
I would have did less of that. I would have.
Well, I'm gonna ask you a quick question. So, I was telling this to Nolo because he was so over, and when he did the heel thing, I guess it was kind of like reserved from the fans because they really didn't know how to go about it. Would you have, once he lost the streak, do you maybe, if you're gonna turn heel, put him like against one of the biggest babyface in the game, like Sting, or do you still do the outsider line? Because again, I'm just thinking like if you're gonna do that to somebody that's just so huge, I feel like you're gonna have to put him against another huge babyface.
Well,
although the outsider
makes sense of why he turned bad, it makes sense to put him against the people that made him lose a streak. Okay. Him turning heel is him spiraling.
Okay.
After the streak, you know. Then after that, you go after the baby faces. Again, Goldberg is pretty much a heel person. It's just they cheered him.
Right.
Goldberg is a jerk.
Yeah,
he is a jerk.
Goldberg is strong and hurting and injuring people.
He does that.
You don't have to change much about Goldberg to make him a heel. Just give him a motive. So that's why I'm like, I would have did this. I didn't mind his heel turn. It's the only time I enjoyed Goldberg.
So he was Ridge Holland before Ridge Holland?
He was Ahmed Johnson.
Oh, call him Ahmed Johnson.
Man.
Ahmed Johnson.
Oh. Damn.
Ahmed Johnson is Black Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even if they sandblast your ass, you still wouldn't be white.
It's just
Yo, Farouk hated that.
Hold on, because y'all gonna make me ran on Farouk now. You're gonna make me ran on Farouk now.
I'm sorry.
That's real. No, that's real hate and shit.
For
Oh,
sure.
that's real hate.
Let's really talk about it real quick. Farouk came from being a champion in WCW to WWF, where he sees this big black nigga who's blood wearing 6 knee pads on his legs, and you're the guy. You're the first Intercontinental Champion. They're talking about putting the belt on you, and I'm coming from being a world champion, and I can wrestle, and I've been doing this for years. So his first match, he injures Ahmed Johnson purposely. He purposely did it.
Oh, Farouk was Kendrick. Okay.
Farouk purposely did that. Did he not, Nolo?
Yeah, you're
It
not
was
wrong.
on purpose. Everybody tells, like, when Mark Henry and D-Lo, all of them tells the story, like, yeah, Ahmed hurt him. This nigga took out fucking Ahmed's kidneys when he's about to have a match with Ultimate Warrior at HBK.
Damn.
He about to be in a tag match with these guys.
Damn.
Fuck them up. Hey, dog. Hey, are you really mad?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Shit.
Oh, all right.
I like Farouk. But knowing the story behind the beef with Ahmed Johnson, and it was no reason other than Ahmed was the black guy that WWF was going to make their black guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like shit like that.
That's tough.
That's real
that.
crabs.
It is.
That's fair.
And then everybody tells the story like Ahmed was the asshole. No.
So Ahmed, up to this point, culture-wise, really didn't do anything to warrant all this?
No.
Other than
He was
being
just
the guy
green.
they chose.
He was just green.
Oh.
He did nothing. Farouk debuted and kicked the shit out of him in his ribs. He had to get an emergency surgery. And every time he came back, he was injured after that.
Every time. Man was a walking
And
injury.
they still ain't make Farouk they nigga.
Nope.
Right? Vince would have put the belt on him. The fans was fucking with the "you're going down." I had to have this conversation with Stan because he was like, "Nah, he wasn't that over." Like, cause I said he's white. I said Goldberg's white Ahmed Johnson. He said, "Nah, Ahmed Johnson wasn't that over." I said,
Watch it.
He was. Their audience wasn't as big as WCW's, but the audience they had fucked with Ahmed Johnson.
Oh, nah. They used to go crazy for Ahmed. That's a lie if we saying that he was never
not a
over.
lie, it's just uninformed because Stan came through to WCW after like the WCW NWO Revenge games. So he watches it, but he don't watch it like that deep to know. No, they fucked with him.
Mm-hmm. So after that injury, from Ahmed, is that where the fall off started to happen?
Yeah, he started hurting himself more and more after that.
Okay.
But I mean, realistically, D-Lo, yes. Every time Ahmed came back, they kind of fucked with him still.
Yep. So basically, Ahmed really did nothing but just being a rookie that was getting pushed to the moon.
Yes. He was Black Ultimate Warrior.
But he could wrestle. He could wrestle.
He couldn't wrestle-ish.
Oh, okay.
It was the same. He was hurting everybody and himself.
Oh, okay.
He could do moves that were good.
Right.
That looked okay.
Okay.
And everything else was, ooh, you hurt him.
So not justifying what Farouk did, but it was like
Farouk was being a hater.
Like I said, Ultimate Warrior Goldberg-ish.
Okay.
He was big. He was black. He had a look. He was in the Bloods.
Wore a lot of
Have you seen that picture?
He wore a lot of red.
In the WWF magazine where all the Bloods is just chilling around Ahmed.
I've seen it.
Show it to Chaz. I'm gonna find it.
I got you.
Please do. Please do.
Literally, he was big, black, and blood, and Vince fucked with it. Vince seen him and said, "Ooh,
I'm here for that."
Yeah, I know that.
I'm here for that.
Anytime for any show.
I am here for that one. ASAP.
I don't bury y'all.
Oh nah, it's all good. It's straight, man.
Listen, the story of Hill Goldberg or Revenge Goldberg. This is this is his summer 16. This is summer 2000. Once he got his revenge on Kevin Nash,
he was done. He didn't need to do. He didn't need to be evil no more.
Scott Hall turned heel, so now he's the face. That was literally it. Like, Kevin Nash, I wanted to hurt your spirit and get your friend out of here, and he did. Mission accomplished, Goldberg.
And then he's like, "Now I can be loved by everyone again."
You know Goldberg loves you.
back to doing Make-A-Wish kids
to injure Vince Russo.
He definitely did.
You know, one match I saw, I think it was one of them nitros that is before Great American Bash. It was Vince Russo versus Ric Flair in a steel cage.
When I tell you, I love Vince Russo. I am a Vince Russo fan. I love WCW 2000. I did not like that storyline. I like bits and pieces of things they did, like when they went to Ric Flair's house and jumped in his bed and stole all his Rolex.
Oh, home invasion is always top tier.
You know, I liked when David was beating up Reed and Charlotte slapped Vince Russo. I like things like that. I didn't like seeing Vince Russo take his shirt off and wrestle. Never. I didn't like how much we seen them, because I didn't like it when it did it with the NWO. I didn't like how every segment, especially when they first started, every segment was like, all right, New Blood Millionaires Club member. There was no like break in between.
Oh, like so they had no other storyline.
They were just adding members to the New Blood joint?
No, it's all the people that made money was Millionaires Club, and the rest were New Bloods. And then we fired a couple, so they're MIA. And then Vampiro, he was New Blood, but now he wants to do Dark Carnival.
Oh, so they were just throwing out clicks left and right.
It was one big click, and then the click fired people, and then it was just three main ones. And I didn't like it. Was too much. Come out and be the heel thing. Don't come out and have matches. Eric Bischoff had a hardcore match, but he took the belt from Terry Funk.
Yes, he did.
And it's like, for what?
Then he gave it to Big Vito and them.
Did the David Arquette storyline happen around this time?
It happened already. It was done already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that already happened.
Okay.
Like literally, this picks up right after.
Okay.
Like the pay-per-view after David loses it to Jeff Jarrett.
Gotcha.
I hated Vince Russo in there. Russo, well, again, right? Russo has no experience within wrestling other than his time in WWF, right? NWO was big. It started all this stable shit, right? How did they combat it? By trying to make stables until they clicked, until they kicked. Like, you know, then it was the Nation and it was DX. So after that, Vince Russo was just like, well, make a stable. How many stables he done made afterwards? Even after the New Blood, he still had his little clique of hills. All the top hills was around Vince Russo. And in TNA, he had SEX, Sports Entertainment Extreme. He's a clique guy. He's a clique guy, and he's a gimmick match guy.
When did TNA start? Like a little bit after the
2002.
Okay.
Yep. They had the 20th anniversary a couple years ago.
They did. They definitely did.
22 years TNA's been here.
Yep.
And
Still
y'all try
rocking.
to tell me, and y'all try to tell me bad creative kills companies.
TNA still flourishing.
Yo, they look at me like he killed the company with his bad creative. I literally just changed my name because one person kept trying to write me and argue me about Vince Russo. I was like, listen, that was during the show. Afterwards, leave me alone. I'll block you.
Yeah.
Like people was DMing me talking about he did. What?
Oh, yeah, people DMing you?
Jesus.
Man, they out here. They going hard. Good God.
Listen. I will argue with you on the timeline. Once you DM me about wrestling or anything stupid at that, I'm gonna block you.
Yes, you should.
That's weird. Don't come on my DM for nothing. But I didn't like that time period. I wish that it was more of a decisive ending to the Goldberg stuff. Cleft the door. But I don't know.
Right.
Nothing really had a decisive ending in WWE.
I was about to be like, that's kind of the running theme of that.
The story of only thing that had a decisive ending in WCW was WCW.
Ooh.
That's it. And this is from someone who loves WCW. The only thing that was decisive about it is WCW got canceled and they had a finale.
Yep. Or were they in Daytona Beach, if I remember correctly? I can't remember exactly.
Show pisses me off to this day. I'm so mad about it. I see every time I see Vince McMahon. I was so happy that they showed that Shane got hit with a cup. I was like, oh, they threw a bug at him. Yo, everybody out there were wild. All of the fans that was there, people talk about WCW ain't have fans. They were out there riding for WCW.
I get it.
Hey,
I get it.
I still remember when they used to go to Sturgis.
That they wasn't fans. They was
Oh, I know. Oh, I'm aware.
They talk about money lost. Every time they went to Sturgis, they lost money because the show was free for bikers.
Mm-hmm. That was a dumb idea.
I don't want to scream about what they losing money, but I do want to say that I will be back probably 6 more times.
Oh, that's fine. You know,
anytime,
absolutely.
Anytime y'all not decisive on who y'all want as a guest, y'all can hit me up and say, "Hey, Hahrts," and I'm gonna say, "Yo, we watching." I got
we watching some WCW shit.
I actually fell on this because I was cussing out Goldberg. I really wanted to do a good match that was good.
I remember you said when I heard you say Sean and Jeff, I got excited. I was like, oh, okay.
Y'all know. Here's the thing. All right, boom. I felt that this was my first time here, and this is my first time on this show in this format. I did y'all show a bunch of times.
Of course.
Right? Mm-hmm. So this format, they never heard me talk about WCW 2000 with you guys.
True.
So I started off there.
True.
I'm probably going to be here like a bunch of times. Anytime I'm like, hey guys, I want to talk about this. Y'all gonna have me. No.
I'm here for it.
Yo, listen, I wanted to do that with y'all. I want to do, like I said, Sean and Jeff, Mind Games, Good Friends, Better Enemies, freaking Revenge of Taker, Austin and Brett. And it not that one. That one the match wasn't at, but the promos for that one.
Oh, he was barred.
I'm the storyline surrounding the match a lot of times more than I am the match. That's why I said let's do this because everything surrounding it, I like. The matches were horrible.
Right. Right.
They were also 6 minutes.
You know, the matches were like clustered. It was overbooked. It was 3 minutes and interferences. But
plenty.
So many matches that I will just talk to you about that I genuinely love. A lot of them is going to be WWF. That's why I got WCW out the way. Again,
oh, okay.
I respect it.
I love WCW, but I was a WWF girl. Shawn Michaels brought me to the party. The party. So the matches that I love, like Iron Man match, I will fight your mother if she says that Judgment Day 2000 was better than WrestleMania 12.
God damn.
Y'all know how I feel about Judgment Day 2000.
I do.
So you was watching WWF and WCW on around that 2000 time. You was going back and forth.
Yes, I was for the most part, but I was more WWF until Judgment Day 2000.
Okay.
And that's what like severed my ties with WWF.
Uh-oh.
Scotland, you're not here. Don't get yelled at.
Oh man, I love this. Oh man, it's all good. But hey, any final words for good old Hill Goldberg?
Revenge. We're gonna call it Revenge Goldberg. We're not gonna call it Hill anymore. We renamed it Revenge Goldberg. Revenge
Villain
Goldberg
arc
was better than
Goldberg.
you think he was. I think he was the best Goldberg because he had more to him than who's next.
He definitely said a lot more.
I'll definitely buy that. Again, when I was just looking at it, it just felt like a lot of outside noise was convoluting the story. But just to know, like you said, he already had everything to be a heel. He had the power. He was an asshole. Wasn't the best wrestler, right? So
taking people out, hurting them.
Yeah, like all those elements he had. So if the story was just more streamlined and more connected, you have something.
There is no way of WCW where you're gonna get a streamlined Hill story. If this was Kevin Sullivan, he would have been in a Dungeon of Doom. Yeah. If this was Eric Bischoff, he would have been in the NWO.
Got you. Fair enough.
So, I think this is the cleanest story you was gonna get with a Hill Goldberg, and they tried it until Goldberg said, "I don't want to do this anymore.
I'm done."
It was really Goldberg. It was really Goldberg saying, "I did what I wanted to do. Bye."
Going back to being like.
Right. I need the love.
I'm going back to being a Hill, but the kids like me.
I need the love.
Oh man. But Hahrts, it has been an amazing time as always.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you already know what this is. You know the homie. You always gonna be able to be. You are always invited. You are always welcome.
Listen,
please. Anytime. I have like 10 matches. It took me until last week to finally say, okay, Goldberg.
Fair enough.
Whole entire time I was like, what am I to do?
What am I to pick?
It's so many things I would love to talk about. Even though we can't talk about him, I don't know, like sometimes, the murderer and Jarrett had a dope ass ladder match.
In the wrestling space.
Did we talk about him? Oh, we did, because we did War Games 97.
Yeah.
And
Nick had to put that disclaimer. So yes, we did. We did bring him up.
Yeah, we already talked about him. It's all good.
We did.
He had a dope ass ladder match with Jeff Jarrett. He was having random great matches with Bret Hart.
He was.
And it's so much good stuff. And in WCW. But if I come back, it's probably gonna be strictly WWF from here. Unless I talk about the Thunder where Booker T and Jeff Jarrett had the match before Booker won the belt.
Cool.
Absolutely. Please let them know where to find you and what you got going on, Hahrts.
I am Hahrts, one half of Talk of Champions. You can find me on Twitter at Hahrts. You can find me on Instagram at Hahrts. I really abandoned my Instagram about 10 years ago. I constantly share a post in my stories, and that's it. Sometimes I'll post a picture that I like. Sometimes I change my photo if I want to. I be on Facebook, but I don't be on Facebook too heavy because I went through a year where I was in Facebook jail more than I was on Facebook.
Oh, damn.
I called a guy a crying dyke one time, and it was it. They put me in jail every time I said something.
Oh, come on, bro.
They put me in jail every time I said something. I said, he need his ass beat talking about wrestling. They put me in. I quoted Hulk Hogan. They put me in. So if you want to find us on Facebook, it's my real name, Shantice. Join the Talk Champions group. It's fun sometimes when we have things to talk about. But follow the Talk Champions pages on Twitter. I think Twitter is Talk of Champs.
Yeah.
Instagram and everywhere else is Talk of Champions. Stan's trying to do some Twitch things.
I see he a gamer.
Popping. Yeah, he be playing like Naruto and wrestling and basketball and things. So he's trying to get that popping because he likes that. Next week we are talking about the series finale of Who Killed WCW, where they briefly talk about who actually killed WCW after they had a full hour of Vince Russo.
Hey man,
I
gotta keep the people going.
I loved it.
You know what this is?
It was a great series. It was a great series.
It was.
It was the best documentation of the death of WCW we ever gotten.
Oh. No, my only gripe is I didn't need Rock. You could have just been a producer and called it a day.
And the only time where Rock had the most input to put, he gave generic answers, and that's when Vince Russo left. He could have told them how it turned them upside down and they didn't know what was going to happen. He just gave that generic ass answer.
I would have been good with that. You did way too much.
It was not that much finger pointing. It should have been more, actually. It should have been more finger pointing. Everybody should have said it was the guys who ran the company. Because that's who did it. And they've been skating on, and they ain't pointing enough fingers at Hulk Hogan. Yo, listen.
Deserved it.
Listen.
Hey.
And let me tell y'all, I don't even know how that's gonna go. I can't even predict what match he's gonna pick, to be honest. Kind of.
I have to think about it. I don't know if he's on the watch list or he's on the Valium show.
Whichever list he's on, but if he's on watch list, I don't want to blow the lead, but I think he might pick an Undertaker match.
That'd be like one of the most unsurprising things.
I'm here for it,
and I'm not mad at it. It's cool. Yeah.
But if he doesn't, I wouldn't know what match he would pick unless he picks himself. And I don't think he would. I'll pick a stand match before Stan picks a match.
Hey, man, I ain't mad at that.
Talking Champions, we're going to finish our coverage for Who Killed WCW and then maybe do more shows after that because it reignited our flame for doing shows. Especially
that. Yeah, man. I'm about to say, I like when y'all do shows, man. Y'all be thinking, y'all be out here. It'd be few and far between.
You know
the dynamic is so
when we started in a pandemic, and when I tell you we was wilding in a pandemic, we was doing 2 shows a week, and we wasn't doing like an hour show. We would be doing like 2-3 hours. When we did the NWO shows was like 3 hours.
Ain't like we had anything else better to do.
We tired early. We tired, and then Stan started to learn how to wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got a job that says, I want all of your time where you're not wrestling.
Damn.
There you go.
So we tired ourselves early, and then he got a different job, and then he started wrestling, and then he's still going to training. So the schedule is pretty heavy, and when he's down, he's down.
Yeah, of course. Hey, that is a hell of a schedule.
I know, everybody goes, oh, you can continue the show. I don't want to talk to nobody.
Right.
And then, it's very few people I like to outsource talking to someone every week. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to ruin a lot of relationships because I don't like people's views on wrestling. So, when we get chances to do shows, we do shows and we have fun and we promise we're going to come back. And then Stan will be tired the next time we try to come back.
Hey,
so
it's all good.
Whenever Stan is up for it, we try to get something out. I kind of forced him to do this.
Hey, I respect it personally.
I respect it. I love it.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah. Y'all do amazing things.
Absolutely.
You can find me at Raleoftheleaf on Twitter and Instagram. Follow both pod pages at bgwpod on Twitter, Instagram as well.
Chaz OBIG, my man Zoe. X.
All right. You can also follow our guy Scotland on Twitter. And
you should have made him type it in the comments and put it up.
He could have. PoeticScotland on Twitter and on Instagram. It is Scotland_Underwood.
And make sure you buy the book.
I was literally about to say it. Yes, buy the book, please. It's great. It's amazing. You won't regret it. Yes, man. Your love is necessary. Make sure you pick that up on go buy my book.
That's right.
Hey,
That's right.
Hey, we got you, baby. We got you.
We gonna plug
You know
every
what you
time,
gotta
buddy.
do each show? You gotta read an excerpt from your book. Yeah.
Hey,
Read
that's not a
enough
bad
to make
idea.
them want to hear more.
That's not a bad idea, honestly.
Call it Scotland's Corner.
I need that. I need that.
Need it.
I'm
need that.
really good. I'm really good at ideas.
Also, follow our man DMac at DMacTardy on all of the socials and whatnot. So yeah, that is it for the watch list. Hope
Thank
everyone
you
enjoys their
for
evening.
sitting
Thank
with
you.
me and my scatterbrain for over.
Oh, I told you what this was. I had no problem. This is great.
You are always a pleasure. This is one of my favorite watch list episodes. It was fun. It was laughs. It was chaotic as fuck, and I was here for all of it.
Yes.
Listen,
You left for 5 minutes and came back.
I thought the show no.
Oh no. We thought you just bounced on us.
We thought you had enough.
Light up. The moment it light up, it said join the room. I pressed it. I was like, what the hell?
Oh man, that was funny. That was a good time. But all right, folks. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all enjoy yourselves. We are out.
At the end of the day,
The day gotta end.
you're goddamn right.